Hi class, this is Mr. Trez, and today's video is going to be on finding solutions of quadratic equations. So let's just get started with reviewing what is our standard form of a quadratic equation. And our standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are the numbers and x and y are the variables. X is our independent variable and y is our dependent variable. So let's take a look at a graph. And when we graphed our quadratic equations, the graphs look something like this, where we had a U-shaped, it's a U-shaped graph, and it's a nice smooth curve. So in this particular graph, we can see that it opens upward. And how do we know that a graph, a parabola, is going to open upward? Well, in our equation, it's when a is positive. So if our value of a is positive, for example, positive 1, that means our graph is going to open upward. Now we can also have parabolas that look something like this, where it opens downward. So how do we know that a graph, a parabola, is going to open downward? Well, that occurs when a is negative. So for example, if a was negative 1, that means our graph is going to open downward. So what we want to do today is we want to take a look at how do we find solutions to our quadratic equations. So looking at the graph, we can say that we have 2 points here on this graph, and we have 2 points here on this graph. And we call those points the roots. These points are also the x-intercepts. Because as we look at these points, these are the 2 points where the graph crosses the x-axis. Okay? We can also say that these 2 points, y is equal to 0. And it's true because this point is negative 5, 0. This point is negative 2, 0. We're not going up or down. We're just staying right on the x-axis. So those 2 points are called the roots, the x-intercepts, when y is equal to 0. They are also called the solutions. So the solutions to a quadratic equation are called the roots. They are also called the x-intercepts, and the solutions are when y is equal to 0. So if I had a quadratic equation, and I'm going to use this as an example, y equals x squared plus 3x minus 10, I want to find the solutions of this. So the first thing I want to do is factor it, and you can make up a table to find the 2 products that equal negative 10 that have a sum of 3. Okay, but in this case, if I was to factor it, it would be x plus 5, x minus 2. So there is our quadratic equation factored. Now we want to find the roots, the x-intercepts, when y is equal to 0, and the solutions. Okay, so all of these things is what we are going to find right now. So the roots are the points that lie on the x-axis. Okay, we're going to solve for x. We're going to find the solutions. We're going to find the roots. Okay, if it was to be graphed, the parabola, it's where the parabola crosses the x-axis. So the way we find our solution is we're going to substitute. And we know y is going to be equal to 0, so we're going to set y equal to 0. So 0 equals x plus 5, x minus 2. And now we're just going to take it one step at a time. And we're going to take it one factor at a time. And we're going to say x plus 5 equals 0. And use our inverse operations. Let's subtract 5 to isolate the x. So x is equal to 0 minus 5, which is negative 5. This is one of my solutions. Now the next solution is we're going to take the other factor. X minus 2 equals 0. Let's use our inverse operations of adding 2, and x equals 0 plus 2, which is positive 2. So the solutions to this quadratic equation would be -5 and +2. So the solutions, the roots, the x-intercepts, when y equals 0, would be -5, +2. So the solutions are -5 and +2. Thank you for watching this video.